Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and today we're going to look at the difference between degrading your sound and upgrading your sound. Every chord can be mangled with plugins, sure, and we love that lo-fi effect, but sometimes just adding an extra tone to your chord can give you that thick, chocolatey, umami quality that we're looking for. Let's look at that today. Well, conventional harmony presents very strong, solid sounds, and so I've written a 1, 4, and 5 chord progression here. That's an F, dropping down to the 4 chord to the B flat. 1, 5, 4. I mean, sounds great, right? And honestly, sort of the conventional thing would definitely be to go into my channel strip and turn on an amp. Immediately sounds a little more real, right? And in the old days, of course, we were always playing these things through amps. And then my next level might be adding origin, and this gets a little, yeah, that definitely gave me a little color there, didn't it? So now we've got the amp, and we've got cymatics. But if I look closely at this set of voicings, I'm going to take this out of scroll and play so we can just kind of see it as it rolls. These are decently voiced, they're inversions, and so I'm getting a little melody on the top. But it's closed voicings, and I don't know, I'm just not that happy about it. I mean, the bass is just playing roots. You see it down there in the aqua color. So I said, I'm going to step over and I'm going to do something else. I'm going to change the way those voicings are presented. I'm going to go back and turn off cymatics, because that weird saturation and the fun quality of sound is no longer exactly what I'm looking for. I'm trying to create thickness with voicings. My very first thing is to use a trick I call drop 2, and I'm not the only one. I took the middle voice and pulled it down an octave. And right away, you can feel it's a little beefier, right? And it was super easy. Once I got my voicing set, I just copied it over, grabbed the middle note, and transposed it down an octave. Well, I think that's a big improvement right away and would sound great on organ or strings. But there's a couple more levels that we can look at. And those levels involve adding tones. Now, when you add a tone to a major chord, you've got to be super careful about where it sits. And generally speaking, added tones to major chords appear next to the root or the fifth. I'll just say that. And of course, they're going to be near the third, but you probably, in a rock context anyway, don't want to add something that will mess with the major third too much. For instance, the natural fourth step will be strongly dissonant against the major third. And so what I've done here is to add tones to the top of that voicing. And you can see the tones I've added. To the F chord, I've added an E. It's a major 7. It's really pretty. To the C voicing, and again, I'm just creating a melody that echoes the melody that I had before. To the C voicing, I'm adding a D, which is the 9th. And then that same voicing drops a step, so another 9th. I've added major 7th, major 9th, major 9th. Now it's a thick sound, and I've created a new melody because instead of, kind of like dropping down F, E, D, now it's dropping down E, D, C. It's a different melody now, and it's going to sound a little bit different. I actually like that. It kind of has a Steely Dan quality, doesn't it? Well, when you're arranging for horns or for organ, these closed voicings can be a little dense, right? So I'm going to use a version of the drop 2 trick on my next example, and that'll be the last one we look at because we don't want to go too deep into this. So take a look at this idea, because I think this is really powerful. Once I get ninths and major sevenths in there, I'm going to wind up maybe with some seconds, right? I'm going to wind up with some major seconds, and those major seconds will be kind of spicy. Well, it's really best to bury your spicy sounds in the interior of your voicing. And it works really well with horns, for instance. I love the sound of horns with a second kind of at the bottom if you have 3 horns. So that's what I've done here. Now, instead of grabbing the second voice from the top and dropping it down an octave, I grabbed the second voice from the bottom, and you guessed it, flipped it up an octave. And this is the result that I got. Now that's the sound I can get behind. There's some spicy qualities in there. The major seconds in the middle of the B flat and C chords are definitely a little bit sort of intense sounding. And there's something really beautiful about the stack of sort of fourths that we have in the F chord as well. Additionally, there are no parallel fifths, which I would have got if I'd flipped down the top voice down an octave. And it's not too thick. It's not really in the way of the bass. I'm for this. This is a great chord progression for a top liner. It's going to give him or her or them a very strong set of suggestions for melodicizing. Well, don't just think about degrading your sounds. Once you get a chord progression you like, electric piano, a spooky guitar sound, you can upgrade it. Upgrading usually is a result of adding tones to the chord, major sevens, ninths. For dominant chords, the sky's the limit in a way, but we've used very simple major chords, triads, then we did the drop 2 trick, then we added major sevenths or ninths. Then we used a flip up 2 trick. I don't know what to call it. There's probably a name for it, but I don't know what it is. Well, I hope this has been useful. Like and subscribe. And if you ding the bell, you'll be notified when I do my videos. I'll see you next time.